Hello ladies and gentlemen, Fuzzfinger here, welcome back to Final Fantasy XII, our low level challenge week mode playthrough. So today we're going to be tackling the White Mousse, so make sure you go to the notice board, pick it up, and I did actually make a mistake in the main walkthrough for Final Fantasy XII where I said the White Mousse is level 15. He's actually level 35, so probably the hardest enemy we've had to fight so far on week mode. Let's see how we get on, shall we? Right, so the petitioner for this hunt is Sorbet, who is the Moogle that's part of the fast travel network down at the West Gate. So go and speak to him and then make your way over to the Gamsea Waterway. And I will show you the route, even though we've been here before on the last walkthrough. Perhaps you haven't watched that, or for whatever reason you can't remember it. So let's just go there again. So we need to head down the west-hand side. If you remember the mark in question, the White Mousse is down the bottom, the south end of this particular dungeon. So it can be a little bit of a pain to find, especially through this first section here. So you just need to basically go around these stairs and then up here, and this will take you across to the bridge that will lead you through to the other side. So I have got Bash in Berserk mode so that we can hopefully one-shot these guys. And actually, if you watch my video on the original walkthrough, I'm about level 25 when we come to this part of the game and do this hunt. And I actually take a lot more time killing these enemies in that video than I do with this current setup with our level 1, 2 and 3 characters, which is quite ironic, but we do have to put more thought into our setups, don't we? So that's why that is, of course. Now, because of the status ailments here that are really quite annoying, you might want to go ahead and just skip these enemies by running past them. But you will have opportunity to heal up before we actually go into the battle with the mark itself. So I do recommend killing the enemies at least in this area, so they're not going to interfere with the hunt, which spawns down over there. So Bash in Berserk mode. Going to do a nice lot of damage. Now, because this is a Flan creature, this mark, we're not going to be using Bash. However, this is where our black mages are going to come into use. And you should have the Fire spell by now. And that's what we're going to use. If you don't have it, then you should get it. If you really can't be bothered, then you can do this same strategy with just the Fire spell. But obviously, it's going to take a few more rounds of fighting before the hunt actually dies. It is also possible as well, unfortunately, for an elemental to interfere with this fight. But at the moment it doesn't seem to be anywhere in sight, so hopefully we're going to be okay. But I'm going to set my team up, I'll show you what I've done, and then we'll get on with the battle in question. Right, so our main fighting team is going to be Varn and Flan, since they're our black mages, but also Penelo. She's going to act both as our tank and as our third fire caster, since she can also cast fire. Just make sure you teach her the license. I'm going to show you my gambits in a moment. In terms of equipment, I'm actually using the wizard staff, and I'm going to give Fran a staff as well if she's got one, but I don't think she has, unfortunately. What I actually recommend, though, is the flame staff, since it's going to boost fire damage by 50% on every one of your mages that has it equipped. I don't have the flame staff yet, though you can get it. I'm just going to risk doing it without. We'll see how we get on. But that extra fire damage is going to speed things up even quicker. For Penelo, since she's going to be tanking, I recommend just using some good tanking equipment such as the main Gauche and the Dragon Shield. I've done videos on both of those if you want to know how to get them. In terms of gambits then, so what we're going to be doing here is, first of all, we're going to be making sure that we've got Reflect on all three of our characters, since you'll boost your fire damage by casting it onto the enemy if it's been reflected from a party member. So we're going to have self-status reflect 5R gambits on every single member of our party. And we'll also use this as a backup in case reflect comes off for whatever reason. So Fire Weak Firer as our backup. And then on Fran, we're going to be doing the same thing. I've also got some Ether gambits set up should we need to use those. And then finally on Penelo, we've got the same gambits. And she's also going to be casting reflect on our party members when they need that, if it falls off or whatever else. She's also going to be casting Barkus's Wine, which will keep the Flan in Berserk mode, so that we only have to worry about his physical attack at that point. And finally, we're just going to start off with Ash in our party, so she's going to cast Haste on Penelo. and that's going to just allow us to get the buffs going up quickly, and then she's going to be a little bit easier to use in combat. So that's the trick. We're also going to be keeping decoy on Penelo, so that's going to be Fran's job as well. I'm not going to worry about anything else. We're not going to turn on healing gambits apart from on Penelo, where she's going to do self-heal 50%. And the reason for that is that we don't want to drag this battle out. So I don't mind taking a bit of damage. Hopefully Penelo will take the bulk of it and she'll heal when needs to. But hopefully we won't need to heal the other party members, and we don't want them wasting time doing so. So that's pretty much it for the setup. I'm just going to get those hastes going even with Ash. And oh boy, this is the elemental I warned you about. So I'm just going to go and run out and reset this guy. Ah, where's my map gone? So we will need to heal up before the fight. Yeah, this elemental's a real pain. So you do have to try and watch out for him. But with a bit of preparation you can avoid him, because he does come quite far over from where the hunt is hanging out. This elemental was really getting in the way, but it looks like I can actually solo him with Bash, fortunately. So Bash in Berserk mode does a nice amount of damage, and he's actually going to get rid of that elemental for us, which is helpful. And the good news is we're not going to be using Bash in this fight either, so it doesn't matter if he's taking a bit of damage. One thing I am going to recommend, however, is to try and keep Larsa alive, and the reason for that is he can actually cast Bubble on your main tank. So I've just had a Gambit up. If you are using Larsa, it's not essential by any stretch of the imagination, but if you do have Larsa, make use of him, you may as well. And if he can get a Bubble off on your tank, in my case Penelo, then obviously that's going to be a bonus as well. So I think that's pretty much all we need to talk about, really. So now we're definitely going to be getting on with the fight. Okay, so I've got Ash now just to cast Protect and Haste on Penelo, so she should be ready to go in terms of tanking. We're going to say goodnight to her now and bring Varn and Fran into the battle, and we're going to turn their gambits on. So I'm not going to turn this on just yet, because we want to make sure we're actually in battle before we do that. So we'll just turn these off temporarily. What I will do though is turn on the Reflect Gambit at this point. And we'll make sure that Penelo is the character we're controlling. And we'll get 3 Reflects off with her. She's hasted up, so this shouldn't take too long. She's actually going to cast 4, thanks to Larsa being here with us. And now we're going to go down here. There's the White Mousse. So first thing we're going to do is turn those Gambits on at this point. And hopefully, if we've set this up correctly, it shouldn't be a terribly hard battle, but it could go on a little bit. So we get the Bark of Brine off, get that Berserk status going. And Larsa's dead, but that's not a big problem. Just let me check it. Ah, we need to turn Decoy on, of course. I thought I'd already done that, actually. So hopefully we can do this in time. So we are doing nice amounts of damage here with Fiver, as you can see. And Penelo's going to heal herself when need be. And that Aqua does heal the boss. But that's no problem. We're still out damaging it, obviously, which is what we want to see. And then we will cast those emergency ethers as well if we do run out of MP. I'm not totally sure. Did we get Bubble off in time? No, the problem was I didn't have the Decoy Gambit set up. Well, that just goes to show you don't need Bubble, but it's there if you want to use it. And down goes the White Mousse. And we only actually needed 1 Barkus's wine as well. So we get the broken key for that, but I hope that little strategy's helped you. So kudos to the Reddit post, which is linked in the description. And now we can turn all these gambits off and make our way back. Right, it is important to hand this in before you start collecting more hunts, because on top of getting your reward for the actual hunt in question, which I believe is a burning bow, so probably not going to be, yeah it is, look, it's not going to be too useful for our party. But also you get the Sluice Gate control key from this particular hunt. And for those of you that know the game, you'll know that that's used in many other hunts and objectives in the Garim Seath waterway. So it is important that we do complete this one sooner rather than later. But there we have it, guys. We have the White Mousse completed. That mark is defeated, and now we can move on. So thanks for stopping by today. Let me know in the comment section if this video has helped you and how you're getting on with your own week mode playthrough. Until next time, folks, take care. See you soon.